If you've been trying to grow your consultancy for a while and you keep hitting the same ceiling, dealing with the same problems and wondering why nothing's really changing, this episode is going to give you a very different answer to why. Hi, my name's Josh. I spent 10 years as a director and shareholder of a 3 million engineering consultancy that we grew to a 30 million multidisciplinary firm across engineering, town planning, surveying and architecture. And I guess one of the biggest lessons that we learnt, or that I learnt along that journey was, businesses don't outgrow their founders, or businesses don't outgrow their owners. And today I want to walk you through why most consultancy owners stay stuck at the same level year after year, what it actually means to upgrade your identity as a business owner, and like the practical shift that you need to, make to start leading at the level your business needs you to. So let's get into it. All right, team. So the first thing I want to talk to you about today is you can't grow a business beyond the version of you that's currently running it. And so this might be a bit uncomfortable, it might be a bit of a hard conversation with you, but most consultancy owners are trying to get a bigger result, a bigger business from the same thinking, from the same habits, from the same version of themselves that they're at right now. Most owners focus on what they need to do to grow, like the logical stuff, like more clients, better systems, more team, all that sort of stuff. And they don't look at themselves as the founder and don't look at who they need to become to lead a bigger business. So the version of you, and I say this to our boardroom clients all the time, the version of you that got the business to where it is right now is obviously exactly what was needed to get the business to here. But that same version of you is not the version of you that's going to get you to your growth goals. So the version is who got you to here won't get you to there kind of thing. So you'll know that this is starting to happen when, as a founder or a business owner, you keep solving the same problems. You keep drifting back into the same thinking. You keep having the same conversations with your team. You keep feeling like you're running hard, but nothing is really moving forward. And it's sometimes it's hard and uncomfortable to look at yourself and go, who do I need to become? What version of me do I need to step into? What things do I need to let go of? What things do I need to take on? But it's not always a strategic problem growth. Often it's an identity problem. Often it's about looking at yourself, going inwards and going, that version of me, if I'm still operating like a 2 million founder or a 3 million founder and I want to get to 5 million, well, I've got to stop operating or thinking like a 2 million founder if I want to get to 5. I need to step into that version of a 5 million founder in order to get there. Every new level of your business demands a different version of you, high level decisions, more ownership in the direction that you want to lead the business, less doing, more leading. But what I see a lot of consultancy owners who've been stuck at the same revenue for a while now is they're going through the motions, but they're not willing to look at themselves and go, what version of me or what about me is keeping this business stuck where it is? And what do I need to change, evolve, or outgrow in order to get to that next version of me and that next version of the business? So when you ask yourself this, is the version of you showing up each week to run your business built for where you want to go, or is it just where you've already been? So I want you to ask that question. Am I running the business stepping into that next version of me, or am I just running at the same version for the last couple of years? Okay, so the second thing I want to talk to you about is your identity. Your personal identity determines what you say yes to, what you tolerate in your business, and also how you spend your time. So I want to go right into this in terms of your current identity right now is it's exactly how you run your business. So if we're stuck in the same identity, the same version of ourselves, week after week, month after month, I just want to start to bring some awareness to this, because it's not always obvious that you're doing the same thing over and over. And most consultancy owners don't even realize that it's happening. So I want you to think about what do you believe about your role? What do you believe about your role in terms of the business and the version of you that it needs right now and the version of you that needs to step into? What decisions are you still making the same? What decisions are you still don't even notice that you're making, and then jumping back into protect delivery, or potentially you're you get into big picture stuff and that feels uncomfortable, like you're not adding value to the business. So you're like, oh, well, the best way to add value to the business is jumping back into doing a report or getting on CAD or doing the drawings. Where are you avoiding hard conversations with a staff member or a client because it feels uncomfortable? Like, I just want you to start to bring awareness to your actions right now and where you might be holding yourself back or still playing small or still in that same version of you that you need to let go of in order to get to that next level of your business. So if your identity is still in your business, I see this all the time, I'm the best technician in this business. You'll keep finding ways to stay in the technical work. Even when you intellectually know that you should be handing that stuff off to your team, getting help with that sort of thing, you're still going to do it because that's your identity. I'm the best technician in this business. Like if your identity is still, I have to be across everything to make sure it's done right. Again, you're still going to you're going to keep creating bottlenecks in your business because you can't let go. You need control. You need to know where everything's up to in the business. And it's not because your team isn't capable to run stuff without you. It's because you haven't upgraded or updated the story that you're telling yourself about what your job or your role is in your business. The owners that I see who break through to that next level aren't necessarily working hard or longer hours. It's because they've just upgraded or up-leveled what they believe their role is and started operating like that from that new place. So yeah, the businesses that grow the fastest, and I'll tell you a story in a second, businesses that grow the fastest or that grow consistently are ones where the founder is continually upgrading their identity. Like a new identity too shows up in pricing, it shows up in the clients that you take on, who you hire from a team point of view, how you run your team. Your identity is the filter that every decision runs through. So I want you to make sure that it's the right identity for this next phase of growth for you. So I guess in summary, if you keep finding yourself back in the same old patterns, creating the same results, doing the work that you know you should delegate, accepting clients you know you aren't right for your business, avoiding decisions that you know need to be made, it's worth stopping and stepping back and actually looking at yourself and asking yourself, which identity am I operating from right now? And is it the one that my business needs or actually needs to move forward? It's a hard question, it's a hard conversation, but it's the right one. Third thing I want to talk to you about, and I want to get practical with you here, is like upgrading your identity, that next version of you required to run your business, is a decision. It's not a destination, but it has to be intentional. It has to be something that we'll talk about this in a second, but you write down, you get connected to that new version of you, and you audit yourself. Like at the end of each week, how did I go stepping into that next version of me? How did I go letting go? How did I go not jumping in to save the team? And you give yourself a little audit each week, and you're just bringing awareness to the whole, what you need to keep, what you need to let go of, and the version of you that you're stepping into. Because upgrading your identity into that next version of you, if you're 2 million now and you want to get to 5, and you want to step into a 5 million per year consultancy owner identity, it doesn't just happen. It's a conscious decision to start thinking, operating, and showing up at that level ahead of where you currently are. And this is the hard piece that people can't wrap their heads around or will find difficult, is that you have to operate for that next level, not where you are right now, but the level you're, ahead of where you currently are. And so, it just starts with you. Like again, pause this episode if you need to, get out a pen and paper and just getting clear on what that next version of you actually looks like. Like what decisions does that version of you make? What do they say yes to? What do they say no to? What is that version of you, or where does that version of you spend time? What don't they tolerate anymore in terms of poor clients or poor team behavior? Like I want you to get connected to and see clearly that version of you before you can start becoming it. Surround yourself with other people who are already operating at that level, because your identity is heavily shaped by your environment. So if everyone around you that you surround yourself is thinking small, they're playing safe, they're staying comfortable, it's very hard for you to think bigger. So the fastest way to upgrade yourself is to put yourself in a room with people who are already there, already thinking bigger, like Boardroom. start making decisions from the identity you're stepping into, not the one you're stepping out of. And that means you have to sometimes make a hard call, do something that you're not used to doing, make decisions. I want you to ask yourself, like, would the owner that I want to become make this decision, or is this the old version of me? So we're bringing a high level of awareness to this, and that's what is required for you to step into that next version of you. Constantly evaluating, constantly critiquing how you're going, how you're showing up. You're never going to get stuff perfect, so don't beat yourself up. Just evaluate where you could have done better and just do better next time. Give yourself permission to let go of the doing as well. Like, one of the hardest parts of this identity shift or identity upgrade is the guilt that comes from stopping doing certain things. But again, that guilt is just the old identity fighting back. It's not a signal to stop, it's a signal that you're actually growing. So here's what I want you to do this week. I want you to write down, and pause, rewind the episode, go back to all the questions that I asked you earlier. Write down what that next version of you actually looks like. How they spend their time, what do they focus on, what is that version you have to let go of, start doing, stop doing, doing more of, all those sorts of things. I want you to get specific, because you can't grow into something that you haven't yet identified. So I want to share a story about one of our boardroom members, and this is one of the, I guess, clearest examples of what an identity upgrade actually looks like in the real world. So Jordan, an incredible guy, he joined Boardroom in January, and by the end of that same year, he had achieved a 5x revenue growth. Not 5%, 5x revenue growth. And when we stopped and looked back over his journey over that 12-month period, we looked at what actually drove that. And I guess, yes, he hired strategically. Yes, he went after like higher value clients. But the thing for me that stood out, or that unlocked all of this for Jordan, was that he was consistently and constantly upgrading his identity as a business owner. So when he came into Boardroom, he was operating like most owners do. He was doing a lot of the work himself. He was cautious about things, not fully backing himself to go all in and after the bigger clients that he needed to and the bigger opportunities. He was good business and operating well, but it was operating kind of within its potential. And so what shifted was Jordan's thinking about who he was and what kind of business owner he was going to be. So he made a decision, not a strategic decision, but like an identity or an internal decision, and that he was going to show up and turn up differently as a business leader and a business owner. Like, he started hiring more strategically, hiring the right people that the business needed for the future growth of the business, not just the people that felt safe and were needed right now, but for the future. Like, he started going after like the clients that matched where he was heading, not just the clients that were going to keep his doors open immediately. He moved into a new office and he kept expanding the team. So he just continually thought like a bigger and greater business owner. So every move that Jordan made came from that next version of himself, not the old version of, but a version of him that had decided where the business was going, what it was going to look like. He decided the business was going to be bigger, better, and he started operating from that place and making decisions from that place before the results had even shown up. And by the end of that year, Jordan had 5x his revenue, not because the market had changed, not because he got lucky, but because he changed and the business followed. And so that's what an identity upgrade looks like. And if Jordan can do it, there's absolutely no reason why you can't do the same. All right, so to wrap this up, the single biggest takeaway from today's episode is this: your business will not outgrow you. So if you want a bigger business, a more profitable business, a business that runs without you holding every piece of it together, you have to become the owner that business needs first. So I want you to start this week. Write down what that next version of you looks like, get specific, and then start making decisions from that place. And if you'd like a clear step-by-step, roadmap for what it actually takes to build a more efficient, more profitable consultancy, one that grows consistently, gives you the time and the freedom you started this whole business journey for, check out our 10 million plus consultancy roadmap training below this episode. So whether you're 1 million, 3 million, 5 or 10, there's a path forward in that training that will show you exactly what it looks like. The link's below that episode. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.